Welcome guys, game number 2 in this best of 5 series between our two Protoss players yet again. First things first though, we are going to be in Triton, and here on the bottom right introducing our green Protoss. He's one map ahead and he is going to be looking to take this series by storm. It is going to be Kobankovic aka Singapore's Blysk facing off against his opponent. Here on the top left, it's going to be that red Protoss. Kun, yet again, showing on up for us, Malaysia's Ranger, looking to duel with Destiny and looking to duel with his Protoss counterparts. So anyway guys, first things first, big shout outs to Ranger of course, as well as Bill. Like, I have released, should have released the replay pack by this point, because I'm not too sure if we're gonna get any other replays after this one. And as I said, end of the year into this. So big shoutouts to them. First things first, Bill from production. He's always been an amazing talent as well as a host here in the local scene, but working hard to make sure that these things show up. And having some replays all around from one of the computers was a good one. It really allowed a myriad, a lot of variety and who's gonna play. And in the meantime, sure, we ended up concentrating on one player, but this one player was the one who made these other games happen. Ranger, big shoutouts to him, especially the lower brackets half that he sent. Sure, I would love if one of the other players from the other side of the bracket could send them in, but the Ranger took the prerogative to have those saved in the first place, sent them over to me, and now we have cataloged them, cast them, and shown them to the world. Hashtag we win as one, guys, and big shout outs to everyone who participated in the SEA Games to begin with. Anyway, let's talk about that game number 1. Solid macro game. I loved every small decision there, every decision to go into WhatsApp, and Blysk just, honestly, it's like I was outdo an opening in chess, and he was able to force his opponent to go into certain decisions. In bigger fights, you could see Ranger having the advantage with that Warp Prism Micro, something he has been absolutely solid in. Blysk in the meantime caught napping in that big engagement. But in terms of decision making and in skirmishes, you can see Blysk having some solid Phoenix Micro. But yeah, in terms of decision making, Blysk just having so many cards in his repertoire, especially as I said before, PvP might be one of his best matchups, having that internal scrim advantage to begin with the rest of his scene. In the meantime though, we are going to get the Stalker opening yet again here from Blysk. At the same time, we will see a Ranger move back to the Adepts, look to hamper that middle line, and into a quick Robo Facility. We go by the 3-minute mark. Of course, no side going for that natural as of yet. Looking to anticipate any kind of attack. PvP, as I said before, one of the cheesiest, but also, if you get overrun in terms of that unit count, as soon as Warp Gate happens, you might just get taken down. So most people, they are playing it more safe with these twin gateways, so you can double pump out just in case you need it in the first place. Compared it to against Terran or Zerg, you can go for that second base by the 1.5-2 minute mark. It can be pretty early. Anyway though, it's risk reward, and here in the PvP, the risk is higher than the reward per se. But in the meantime, into higher tech we go here from Kobankovic. He is going to be looking for that Twilight Council. Can go for a rush onto one of the two Templars, but also can get that Blink Stalker perhaps with that mass of armored units coming the way of Ranger. In the meantime though, a lot of Adepts honestly here from Ranger. We'll look for the attack Psionic Transfer to get in the way, perhaps look for the isolation play onto that Stalker. And here we go with the snipe onto one on both sides. Stalker's being microed here and now by Blysk. And it's gonna be a lot more Stalkers actually coming his way. So many Stalkers in so little time. Ranger forced back on out. Gonna be a losing fight there, and then in the meantime, those sentry in position, Ranger was looking to go for that natural, but he will be expending instead to get more units as well as structures in behind. Now here we go with the force field, but it's too late. The bulk of units have gone up on top. And surprising, Ranger honestly trying to go for the Warp Prism Micro again. The Adepts staying alive longer than they should. Good efforts there from our Malaysian player, but it seems like Blysk is a shark sensing blood, looking for the fish out of water. In the meantime though, Ranger has decided to go for that proxy pylon all the way onto that second base, block a potential natural. But interesting enough, Blysk has decided to plug his hole. The pylon in the way will mean no units will be coming into that instance. He will have to break that to begin with, but this does protect him basically from any kind of attacks in front. Any sneaky adepts will not be able to penetrate. Any pylons, any probes can't do much. And now it's going to be time for the pylon to go down because the robo facility's there. Oh, Blysk is going to be double thinking about it. It might just be a case of how the all-army command works in the first place. But there you go, supply blocking himself. So he is going to be feeling confident instead. That extra immortal support will be very, very useful. But on the flip side, Ranger has noticed that, oh, Blysk is going to be on a high stalker count. I haven't seen any error yet. And can go for those disruptors. Both sides, both players I've seen play the disruptor well. Blysk has used it as a comfort tool in some matches before in previous tournaments. In the meantime, we've seen that Ranger show off with that Warp Prism Disruptor combo. Still though, the Adepts trying to get in behind yet again. The Adepts also gonna give Chase that extra movement speed, so helpful. Ranger though gonna be under attack. Here we go with the force field right now from that sentry before it goes down. But still, this is a lot of scouting here, and now for Blysk gonna see what's going on. The Immortal gonna get that takedown with the help of the Adepts. And overall, it seems like Blysk has realized, oh, I can go for the attack here and now. Still though, he doesn't have that Warp Prism as of yet. Is he in production with that one? Still not gonna be the case. And interesting enough, gonna be onto that Stargate, so Phoenix might be in the cards as soon as this Disruptor is spotted. The Robo Bay already telling him off. And honestly, either way with the Robo Bay, Colossus will be attacked by the Phoenix. Disruptor can get lifted, but it really depends on how much ground game Vankovich has. And honestly, this looks like a strong ground game here. And now with 12 Stalkers into the fray, gets the snipe on the Immortal. That's a huge pick off there by Blysk. And he has such a big advantage. He has that extra mobility, gonna be blinking on back. And I've seen this before from him in old ESLs, in old Wings of Liberty. Has been an absolute god at Blink Stalker Micro. Look how quick he gets in behind. Unfortunately, Ranger gets that focus fire onto the back line. But that is the damage done there. And then in terms of that army, pretty even. But no production anymore here for Ranger. He is going to be on a do or die situation. That Disruptor needs to get that hit. I believe it went for potential drop. As here we go right now with the Phoenixes being sucked on in. 7 probes did go down in that mineral line. But the action already coming up to that ramp. No force field as of yet here and now from Ranger. Blysk again with a solid blink in behind. And honestly, oh, gonna go for that recall, deciding enough is enough. But, oh, the Stalkers might get caught. Blysk, check out what else is here. Gonna be blinking on away. Anyway, though, big hit, though, from Ranger onto that middle line. We'll get the stop onto things. In the meantime, here we go, the Warp Prism, yet again, trying to hamper all of that. But where is the Phoenix into this front? We'll see if the fantastic journey of the Phoenix can bring us anywhere. Look for a takedown or two, perhaps, onto that Disruptor. So, though, that's Proxy Warp Gate will get spotted. The Pylon will go down, empowering the building. Quick and easy snipe there, and then still though, things look really good here for Blysk. Sure, he lost a bunch of workers there, but at the same time, he is gonna have that second base up and running. Only now comes the Nexus. And just how Blysk is playing this in terms of that aggression. He forces Ranger to stop everything. You saw that production time a while ago. Blysk was building so much things, and Ranger absolutely nothing except a Stalker, forcing his opponent to run dry in terms of those resources. High ground advantage though here from Ranger, but the charge lot already exposed. Looking for the snipe. Here we go with the impact. Oh, the Graviton Beam though, gonna get a pick off onto one already. The Stalker's trying to get on away. Do they have Blink as of yet? It's not gonna be the case, and Ranger overextending will get caught here, and now the Phoenixes providing that utility. Ranger unable to keep up in the numbers. Blysk in the meantime just having more. Here we go with the recall. Can save this one Stalker. But a pittance, an absolute pittance in this scenario. Where is that Disruptor? Oh my god, it gets caught! And this has to be Ranger feeling the pressure. Gets the snipe onto the Warp Prism as well. GG is called. And not surprised there. As soon as Blysk got the kill, got the snipe onto that Disruptor, it wasn't even about getting the takedown per se. As you see, the Disruptor still alive. He got that Warp Prism, got the beam onto that Disruptor. He had Stalkers with Blink. Will be enough, and it just goes to show if you're able to react early on when you get that scouting information instead of reacting when you see that it is up and running, you are going to be able to have that advantage. Good Phoenix call there from Blysk. And PvP, you can see that those jet planes just flying off into the distance. So game number 2, one more match perhaps here for Blysk to move on to that lower bracket finals. Absolutely stellar stuff, and we'll see you guys in that next game.